I found it, guys. I did some digging and I found it. Hey guys, Ken here. Welcome back to the channel. Well, I found it. I went and did some digging this morning with my Epson ES400 scanner, and this was something that I've been playing around with for a little while, and I was able to actually find a setting change that I could do on the document scanner to where my cards look proportionately better, and I didn't have to flip the card over and cut off part of the text. As you probably realized, I did a previous video where I was having to do that. If I put the card in upside down and backwards, it would scan it okay, and it would leave a little bit of a border, but yet what it would do is it would cut part of the text off on one side. And I had to determine which side was more important on the text, and if I determined that one side was more important, then what I would have to do, you know, the hack that I found for that was I would have to, instead of scanning the card upside down and backwards, I would have to scan the card right side up and backwards. And what that would do would scan the card backwards. You know, it would scan the card upside down. And then I'd have to flip it in Photoshop and flip it in eBay or whatever. And that just took more time. You know, I was getting a little tired of that, and I figured there has to be a way that I can adjust these settings. So I went into the scanner this morning, started playing with some of the settings, started expanding borders, changing, flipping things. Nothing seemed to be working. But I stumbled across a setting that worked perfectly. And it was by accident because I was just trying all the settings as I went along. And what I wanted to show you, first of all, let's go to this screen right here. And as you can tell, here's an example of a card I previously scanned the old way. I'm going to blow it up here. And as you can tell, this says the Roslyn Hotel, 5th and Main Street, Los Angeles, California. And this was one of those cards that had text on the top and text on the bottom. But look at the bottom of the screen, guys. The text is cut completely in half. And that's the best I could do with it. You know, I tried all kinds of different things. And the only way I could get around, you know, having it scanned properly and more proportionately was to, down here at the bottom, you know, flip the card, you know, scan it upside down and backwards normally, but I would have to scan it right side up and backwards. So it would actually scan the card upside down, and then I would have to flip it in Photoshop, or I could flip it in eBay, you know, either one of the two. But that was just taking too much time. And like I said, I figured there had to be a way that I could fix this to where I wouldn't have to crop it. You know, I did try some settings which gave me the whole card, but there was so much space around it, I would have had to take it into Photoshop and crop it in Photoshop, and that would have taken more time. And I said, you know, there's got to be a way I can do this to where I don't have to crop it, and it shows both the top and the bottom of the card and the edges. And I found that way. Okay, let me show you an example. I'm going to X out of this, and I'm going to bring up this other image. Now, this is a card I just scanned under the new setting that I found. Check this out, guys. I'm going to blow it up. Look at this. Look at that. That is nearly perfect. Okay, there's a little bit of, you know, tight edge on the top, but that's okay. And it shows the top, and if you look at the bottom, you can actually see the bottom text as well. And it actually provides a little tiny bit of a border around the sides. Not much, but a little bit. And you can see everything. You can even see the corners of the card, which was something I was trying to fix as well, because when I was cutting things off, you couldn't actually see all four corners of the card. Now, you know, I got a question about that on one of my other videos. Somebody had asked me, you know, is there a way you can expand it so you can see the corners, you know, to see the overall quality of the card? And even though it's more important on postcards to where you can see the, you know, the subject matter as opposed to the condition of the corners of the card, you know, on trading cards, it's a little different. They have a grading system, but with postcards, it's not as important as the subject matter. But I still wanted to be able to show, you know, the corners of the card, you know? So when I found this setting, as you can see all four corners. You can see the top text, you can see the bottom text. It scans it perfectly. Now I'm going to show you, I'm going to take you on the software and the setting of the ES400 scanner and show you the actual setting that you can change yours to if you want to. I'm going to X out of this, and I'm going to bring up my document scanner here. Where is it? Oh, right here. Okay, this is the window. Usually when I'm ready to scan a card, this is the window that I have. And then what you want to do is go up here to settings. Okay. I'm going to click on that, and then you go into scan settings. It's going to bring up this little window right here. And the setting that I found that fixed all this was right here. It says auto detect. See, before I was dropping down the window and I was going into customize, and I was just setting these customized, inch settings, trying to figure out the best setting I could to where I could include that text, and really none of it really worked. No matter how much I expanded it, no matter how much I contracted it, changed it, flipped it, whatever, none of it really worked. But when I went into auto detect, what that does is the system automatically detects the size of the card and then just puts a little tiny edge of a border around it. It just crops it perfectly. I don't have to crop it. I don't have to flip it. I don't have to do anything with it now other than just color correct it in Photoshop. And that saved me so much time. Now, make sure you don't do auto detect, what's that say? Auto detect long paper. I tried to do that too, and it took like it was 3 times as slow as far as getting the card to scan. I mean, before it would go through in like a millisecond, and you put it on that setting and it goes, I guess it's for long paper, I don't know. But, this was just part of my experimentation this morning of trying to figure out where's that setting that I can get so I can scan it perfectly and it'll, show both the top text and the bottom text and all the edges and all that. So just go into your settings and just click on auto detect. Okay, and then once you do that, I mean, all of these other ones are pretty much defaults. I have it set at 300 DPI. I don't really use any of these settings. You don't have to worry about your advanced settings or anything. Just, if you want to look at my screen, you can actually freeze the video and copy my settings here if you want to, and try it for yourself. And then what you want to do is just make sure you hit save, and that'll save your settings. And you don't have to go into device settings or anything like that, because that's, I didn't change anything in that. But when you do that, okay, when you do that, this is the way it looks on eBay. Okay, now granted, there's some room up here and room down here, but that's just eBay's format, okay? Because, you're dealing with a horizontal image. And I suppose it looks a little different the other way, but because it's auto detecting the size of the card, it's actually cropping it perfectly, and yeah, it works just fine now. And like I said, if you blow it up, look at that. I'm gonna let me do this too. Here's the back of the card. Same thing, just enough edge around the card, okay, to where you can see everything. And even I had to flip this one because I usually flip my cards if they have writing going the other way. So, your customer doesn't have to go like this to read it. And even like that, look at that. It looks excellent. And you can see everything, and it just works like a dream. Okay? So, hey, give that a try. I hope this has helped you. I'm very excited about this because, before, like I said, I was having to flip, I had to determine, okay, I'm going to have to flip this one. I'm going to have to flip it in Photoshop. It just was taking all this extra time. Oh, and one more thing. When you adjust your tray on your Epson 400, the little side doors, sliders on your tray to fit your card, make sure that it's snug right up against your card. You don't want it too tight to where it bends the card, but you want it just up to right that edge. So when it goes through your scanner, when it goes down the tray and goes through your scanner, it holds it in place. Because I tried it a little bit looser before, and what happened was the card kind of just juxtaposed like this, and it kind of moved. So you want to make sure your tray settings are just right up against the edge of the card, and then just go into auto detect, and try that out and see if it works for you. I hope I've explained this properly, and give it a shot and see what happens. Okay, but this way you can see the card, you can see it right there on eBay, and it's perfect. That's what I wanted. I wanted something where you could see the text on both sides, you could see the corners and the edges, and I didn't have to crop it. And that saved me so much time. And as you know, in business, time is money. And this is going to save me time, so it's going to give me more time to list more cards and make more money. Okay? Listen, I just thought I'd share that with you. I hope that's helped. If it did, then smash that like button, and I appreciate it. It helps the channel. And I guess that's it for now. Just wanted to give you this update. I'm really excited. I hope you are too. Listen, I got to go, but you guys have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care, and bye for now.